Hello, my name is Troy Parker, President of Innovative Labor and Cleaning, and I want to talk to you now about deciding to hire and starting a returning citizen as an employee. But let's say you've now hired a person and they're ready to start. Hooking them up with someone who can mentor them, maybe for the first 2 weeks or 30 days, can often help smooth the transition process. The way to help put them at ease is if you put them with someone that can help introduce them to other employees, help them to know the lay of the land, like, okay, this is break time, this is lunchtime, these are some of the do's and don'ts. I know it's all in the handbook, but these days, who really reads all the handbooks? Well, we do it innovative. We have basically a list of revolving mentors. And when a new employee comes in, we match them up and they actually work together on the job site. Since our jobs are outside, many companies who might be looking at this may have all their employees in one place, but they're teamed with their mentor, and their mentor will take them out on the job, work with them, and help them to get comfortable. What we have found is that then this makes the new employee a better mentor when it's their time to mentor. Connecting your new hire with a mentor can help you in a twofold ways. As many companies today are struggling with diversity and inclusion and unconscious biases, this can be an ideal opportunity to couple your returning citizen and along with your unconscious bias program together. If you have an individual who might struggle with biases, it might be good to connect them with someone of another race that would help both of them. One, it would be a mentor to the returning citizen, and it would also help the person who struggles with unconscious biases work with someone and really get to know them. Another thing we do at Innovative, and that I suggest to many of the companies I consult with, is match up your returning citizen hiring with your diversity training. Now, why is that? Let's be honest. When you talk about hiring returning citizens, you're more so talking about hiring African Americans, because statistics have shown African Americans have disproportionately been incarcerated 6 times more than whites, and Hispanics 2.5 times more than whites. So what I'm saying is, most of the time when you're talking about rehiring or hiring returning citizens, you're talking about hiring African Americans or a minority. Seeing that a lot of companies are predominantly white, many times you will have your diversity training and everybody will take the training, but pretty much the company still stays pretty much all white. When you start hiring returning citizens, this changes. Now, many times companies don't want to ask me as a consultant about this issue, and different studies or programs that people put out don't want to touch on this issue too much. So I bring it up to them and I ask them, is it a problem since there's a lot more minorities here than used to be, say, 30 days ago? And they'll quickly say, well, yeah, Troy, I can see they're uncomfortable. But then I explain to them, well, you do realize that more African Americans have been incarcerated, not overall, but it has disproportionately affected more African Americans. And many times, white non-African Americans, whites, when they return to society, their transition is much easier. And I know that for a fact because the employees that are white that come to our company, they usually have more of a foundation. They have family, they usually have their driver's license, they have automobiles or access to them, and they're able to come, start work, and they move through the process a lot easier. Now, there's a lot of issues that are at hand here, and I won't go into all of them, but one thing that this hiring returning citizens can help with is also your diversity. Now, what you can do is, one, step up your diversity training. And I often tell companies, having a diversity training every blue moon and expecting everyone's going to walk away kumbaya isn't the way it's going to work. Most people have had their biases and prejudice for years. And before people get defensive, I'm not saying the prejudice is only on one side. I have to work with African Americans at my company about being prejudiced or biased against whites. So it's on both sides of the coin. And if left unchecked, your program will not work of bringing in returning citizens. It will just be constant, uneasiness and tension. So step up your diversity training, and as part of that, pair the individuals who are struggling with the diversity training, pair them together. Now, not right off the bat, but as they go through the training and you sit down with both employees and let them know that, hey, this is the way the company is moving and you have to get on board or you're going to be out of here. Many times this helps get their attitude in order, and then they're able to start working together, and then you can pair them. I learned this lesson, or this lesson truly came to light while incarcerated. While incarcerated, there were blacks who definitely didn't like whites. There were whites who definitely did not like blacks. In the Hispanic population, there were Dominicans who did not like Cubans. What I found was that basically when people got together and actually talked and communicated, the things that they were actually holding against the other race wasn't anything personal. It was just biases they had picked up either in their youth, in some gang they learned, or something else. Most of the time, people dislike what they don't know, but once they become familiar with it, you'll see these differences slip away. While incarcerated, and I bring this up all the time when I'm talking to companies I'm consulting with, or when I'm talking with our teammates, basically people all want the same things. They want a home, their children to be safe, their wife or mate to be safe and have a good life. That is across all races. This really came crystal clear on visiting day while incarcerated. Everyone would have to go to the visiting room. No matter what color, you all went to the same visiting room. In that visiting room, or right afterwards, when the visitors had left and the inmates were standing there, white, black, Hispanic, people who normally did not talk to one another, you would see them smiling and asking each other about their visits. And it dawned on me that people basically want the same things. The white individual loves his wife, his mate, his children, whatever, and wants them to be safe. The same with the African American person. He loves his mate, wife, girlfriend, whatever, and his children. The same with the Hispanic. Once I saw that basically everyone can come together on a few things, I saw that people can work together if they want to. In that visiting room, I saw people who normally walk past each other and either didn't look or recognize one another, come together, laugh, slap each other on the back, even though once they walked out back into the yard, they would then go back into their old character. It showed me that people can change and that people have much more in common than they believe they have different. So I hope this helped, and this is just one way that we help match our returning citizen program with our diversity program, and you will find that over time you'll have a much more stronger and smoother running company. Next, many times returning citizens have certain, let's say, obstacles that they are struggling to overcome. A good thing is to remember, have empathy, but not become sympathetic where you're basically trying to solve all their problems. At Innovative, we let people know we're willing to offer a hand up, but they're gonna have to put in some work too. Many of my employees will tell you, well, you know what? He's tough, but he is here to help you. You show me what you're gonna do, and then we will start looking at ways that we can help you. When people first come to our company, some things like uniforms, boots. Now don't forget, technology has changed a lot of things, and companies like Uber or Lyft can be used to help employees get back and forth to work. Your company might want to set up an Uber business account and use that for employees, maybe for a probation period, like, until they get their first check of maybe 2 weeks. And you can deduct it as an expense, or you could even deduct portions of it from the employee's paycheck. Maybe 50-50. You pay 50% of it and they pay another 50. Now I know a lot of people will say, well, why would I pay it? Sometime, depending on what you're paying per hour, and say an Uber back one way would cost $20 to $24. That might be a lot for a newly returning citizen to pay. At our company, we look at that as our part of giving back to the community. It will cut into a small percentage of your profit, but you will find that employee will be more loyal and dedicated to your company in the long run. You don't know how many times people have come up to me and said, man, if it wasn't for you, I don't know how I was gonna make it out here. Nobody would hire me. When someone really feels that you gave them an opportunity when no one else would, you create a bond with that person that can last years. Some of my longest employees are returning citizens, and they have been with me over the 5 or 6 years we've been in business. And I know that I can count on these individuals. So don't look at these returning citizens that you might hire as charity. Look at them as investments. And as you pour into them, you will see they will pour back into your company. I hope this information has helped you. And always remember, to build a strong community, it starts one job at a time.